Welcome to another episode in distance learning video series for Art of Animation course. This week we will make a wire armature for a stop motion animation puppet. One of the methods in stop motion animation is to use puppets made of different materials. These puppets here are all handmade. In each of these there are skeletons made of metal wire. We call these parts armature. Armature of a puppet gives more realistic movements. There are joints on armatures and we can bend these joints to shape the puppet to different poses. Also, armature gives stability to the puppet. There are a few types of armatures. There are do-it-yourself wire armatures. These armatures are made by bending and cutting wires to a skeleton shape. This week we will make one of these. Another type is ball and socket armatures. These armatures are machined and sold for professional applications. Joints of these armatures are made of balls inside sockets, which can be tightened or loosened with screws. Another armature type is toy armatures inside dolls. Dolls have built-in primitive armatures which provides rather simplistic movement. Now we will begin making a wire armature. We need some materials and tools for this application. First we need metal wire, at least a couple of meters long. Normally we use 1 mm aluminum wire, which is called armature wire. If it's hard to find in your local stores, just use any thin metal wire you find. We will need a wire cutter to cut the wires and a plier to bend or hold the wires. For the fixed bones of the armature, we will use toothpicks and tape. Our final armature will be like this one here. Let's start. First we fold our wire from the middle point. Find and join the two ends and hold. Move to the other side while holding and straightening. Hold the circle at this end and start turning around itself a few times. This part of the wire will be the head and the neck. Now split and pull the two ends of the wire at the bottom of the neck. Again, double up the wires from a point at a distance long enough to make an arm. This will be the first arm. Now I'm bending the second one. We have two circles, which look similar to head section we made. Split these circles to opposite sides. At neck level, fold the two wires to down 90 degrees. We will have this cross shape at the end. Hold the circle at one side and start twisting. One arm is done. Now twist the other. Both arms are ready. We will have a T-shaped figure at the end. Hold the two wires facing downwards at your hand and start twisting. Twist these wires till you have a length enough for torso. Now we will make the legs. We will use a method similar to making arms. Bend the wires from a point appropriate to length of legs. Pull the ends of wires up to torso side of the puppet. There will be excess of wire at the torso side. Cut these excess long enough to twist these ends around the torso. We fix the two wire ends here by bending around. Now we have one leg. Let's do the other one at the same length. I'm cutting and fixing the other leg around the torso. Just like the arms, we will bend and twist the legs around. You can put your finger inside the circle to easily twist the wire at this point. Now I will twist the other leg. Legs are done. Let's bend the shoulder and hip points to create a better form. First, the shoulders. Now I will bend the hip. This wire armature may look crude and ugly right now, but it will look better after we made a body around it. Here I didn't exactly follow realistic human proportions and made a quick example. You can print a model and follow measures for more realistic proportions. I will bend the circles at feet to make the puppet stand for now. There are methods to make realistic looking feet and to fix the puppet to stage from the feet. We can place nuts inside the feet and use bolts under the stage to make the puppet stand and walk. But I will leave that part aside for now. Next, we will make joints and bones. If you use this armature without fixed bones, each time we bend a joint, it will be a slightly different point. In order to make bones, we will use toothpicks and tape. I'm using paper-based blue tape here, but you can use other types of tapes. We will also need a scissor to cut the tape. Let's start with the shoulder. I will place one toothpick to shoulder. I'm cutting toothpick to shoulder length. I cut the tape to two parts. I'm rolling these two tape parts at two sides around the shoulders and toothpick. The look is not so important here because nobody will see the armature. We just think about the function. Shoulder bone is done. For the arm bones, I'm cutting one toothpick from the middle. First part of the toothpick will be the upper arm and the second the lower arm. I'm fixing two bones with one tape here. You can use two pieces if you want. One arm is ready. As you see, the joint bends from elbow, which is between two pairs of the fixed toothpicks. Let's make the other arm. If you need more tape to cover and fix the toothpicks, don't hesitate to use on bones, but joints should stay free to move. Arms are ready. Before the legs, we will make the spine. Normally a human spine have many bones, but we don't need all of those. Here I will make a spine with only one joint. Ball and socket armatures have just one joint for the spine too. Similar to arms, I will use two bones and one joint here. Spine is ready. As you see, I can bend it at one joint. For the pelvis bone, I will use only one toothpick and two pieces of tape, similar to the shoulder. Next step is making leg bones. We need two pieces of toothpick for each leg. Upper part of one leg is done. Now I will switch to the lower leg. As you see, one leg is ready and bending only from the knee position. I will finish the bones with the other leg. Finally, the other leg is ready too. Legs can be bent from hips and knee. Arms can be bent from ankle and shoulder joints. Torso can turn to left and right. Our armature is finished. Each of these puppets here have one wire armature inside, but there are some small differences between. For instance, this puppet have hands made of wire. There are 4 fingers and each finger is the end of a wire. Remember that we fold the wire for one time at the beginning of this application. Instead of bending one time, we could bend twice. This creates 2 loops at head, hands and feet. If we cut the 2 loops in the middle, we get 4 wires. With these 4 wires, we can shape a hand and 4 fingers. We can use medical tapes and other materials to make these look more realistic and put some gloves on. So it's possible to have hands like this one with wire armatures. We finished our wire armature. Thank you for all joining me. Looking forward to see you in the next episode.